ban.
I think if you want to talk about like potential pickups, I actually really liked Execration's Dragonite choice. I think that was like I really think that hero is strong in this patch. I think he's got a lot more viability later on to the game than he used to, and he kind of fits the patch I think pretty well. He's able to put pressure on towers. He's a strong team fighter. He's a tanky hero that survives through burst as well. So if you think about like some of the heroes like Sand King, for example. Like that Sand King is reliant on being able to use his epicenter to be able to get a lot of AoE damage and usually be able to get a numbers advantage off of that. But heroes like Dragonite are able to shrug off most of that damage and weather through the initial nukes.
So no Meepo ban.
Nope.
Important.
Yeah.
But they banned away the silencer, which was very key for the Meepo, right?
Mm-hmm. It was in one game.
And they left the Darkseer out there.
Yeah. Also left the Underlord there.
Omni Knight is pretty hard to play against. I don't blame them if they haven't played against it a lot.
I mean, we saw the way that Wings, I think Wings very clearly showed some inexperience at dealing with Omni Knight against DC.
Yeah, especially if you're counting on very precise rotations or damage to bring people down. Omni Knight just totally flips the script on that, and they obviously looked a bit underprepared for that.
Yeah, that is a specialty of Wings, right? Is that they seem to really have good reads on being able to save heroes as well as being able to finish heroes off. Like I think they have like very precise reads on when they're able to like lure the enemy team in and be able to like turn things around. I think that's one of the better things that Wings does as a team fighting team. When to turn. Well, Sand King's still out there, so I like this Rubik first pick. It's just a nice opener.
Yep.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. This hero just has grown.
He's very popular.
He's the best first pick.
Yeah. And he's not an obvious ban either, is he? There's no real point in banning.
Some teams
10
do.
seconds remaining.
But yeah.
Also, in terms of big old team fight, I mean, if you talk about, we saw Execration ran the Tide Hunter early or something like that. Also gets added value if you pick up that Rubik early on against some of these big olds.
Turn to pick.
I think it's terribly surprising that Darkseer was going to go the way of Execration, and Rubik does have value against that hero. Surge is a little bit harder to use against Telekinesis. So what do you get? Darkseer, Spirit Breaker, Darkseer. They could go for. Do Execration do like Bounty Hunter or Riki at all?
Crystal Maiden.
I don't think it was in their.
Oh, they do Crystal Maiden.
Wings Gaming's turn to pick.
Yeah.
I don't like CM.
Why not? I think she's alright.
I think
she's passable.
I think she's all right. I can agree
alright,
with that.
but
she's all right.
What better support would you pick?
They're relegating her into a second pick.
Like Spear Breaker, I don't like versus the Rubik, and then Riki and Bounty Hunter, I think they demand like a very specific playstyle.
Sure, if you're not going to combo up with the Darkseer, I think there are a lot of other like 5 positions that you can still open with. Like, I still think like Vengeful Spirit is pretty good in this patch. You could have gone for like the Shadow Demon still and tried to get some sort of combination.
Yeah,
you could have gone Mirana.
They like more AoE though. Like all other fights that we saw in the last series is mass AoE.
Yeah, we saw them pick the Wyvern very early as well, and that kind of goes with their team fight type of preference.
CM Aura does have a lot of value for Darkseer, so you already have that synergy to start with.
Going over to Wings.
Same opener as VP.
Yep.
5 seconds remaining.
Can't go wrong with Rubik Juggernaut, I think. Very solid. You can lane them anywhere, even dual lane, aggro lane.
Yeah, a lot of flexibility there. Not too bad against a Darkseer if you do have to put them in the safe lane. Obviously, you can play them mid as well.
Execration, last time they were faced up against a Juggernaut, they like hard focused trying to counter that hero with the Axe Wyvern. Obviously, they won't. Like, Wyvern or Axe don't really fit into this position, but I kind of hope they learned their lesson about Juggernaut. It's just like not a hero that you can focus too much on the draft, just because you can always get something done, no matter how well you draft against it. So better to focus on your own strategy, I think.
You can always try the newbie strategy of the Quap. They like that versus the Jug, pressure him and lane a little bit, and you have pure damage to burst him down through Blade Fury.
You do most likely need a strong tempo controller because like CM is a bit questionable as a support and whether or not you're able to make successful rotations. I would love to see like an Earth Spirit going their way. I think that's a nice coupling hero. And then the Silence probably has some value against Rubik and Juggernaut here. And then you also can get a tempo controlling mid. I think those heroes are kind of a prerequisite. Unless you're going to play like super safe and conservative and just try and play really farm efficient, I think you need to try and get some action out of another core when you're running this Darkseer offlane because he's such a slow offlaner.
Jack, what do you think Wings has up their sleeve?
Well, they've been out the Shadow Fiend. I was going to say that seems like a pretty popular pick for them recently. Just looking at what the other team could go for, I think what you just mentioned with potentially something like a DK
10
mid. So
seconds remaining.
if that's the case, you could see Wings go a bit more aggressive, maybe try to take advantage of that laning
5
discrepancy that we're
seconds
talking about
remaining.
and try to force the tempo early on, because we have seen them do that a bit lately, kind of get these like early push and then fight and
Reserve
consolidate
time.
their advantage early on and try to end the game and force fights. And so I'm not sure if they're going to go that direction in this game.
What hero are we looking at for Faith? I think he plays a different offlaner pool than normal. I think Sanking might invite a Meepo pick too. They really like Meepo versus Sanking.
And
Execration's
Sanking's also
turn to
I'm
pick.
surprised that
harder to
wasn't.
play against Darkseer.
I'm surprised that Meepo wasn't second phase banned. Or are they actually waiting for this? Are
It's
they
not
thinking, okay,
necessary.
we beat DC with it.
They used
were
Wyvern Gyrocopter last time, and I think
10
it would
seconds
be okay in their
remaining.
lineup right now if they wanted to also pick that up versus the Meepo.
And Wings will
5
have the
seconds
last
remaining.
pick here in the
Yep.
second phase, right? So they'll always
They
be
can
able to
counter-
have
yeah.
a response before the
Spirit
fifth
breaker.
ban comes in.
Oh,
Wings
Yeah,
Spirit
think-
Breaker we thought might come
turn
out
to
at
pick.
2, comes at 3.
If they haven't banned it by now, they're probably okay with it or they have a plan for dealing with it. And they did win against it after all, so
Yep. I think best of 3 as well, first game. You might want to go,
10
okay,
seconds
let's find out then.
remaining.
Let's give it to them. I mean, Wings have done that a number of times to teams over the last
5
6 months.
seconds remaining.
Wings' safe lane is not secure though, and sometimes they like to run the 2-1-2, and I don't think they can just pair
Reserve
Rubik Juggernaut
time.
versus Darkseer Spirit Breaker. I think that's a losing situation for the Jug.
What's pretty good here is the Legion Commander that was routinely banned out in many of these matches. I think you can fit it into Wings' lineup here because Spirit Breaker is such a single target focus, and then you also have the Crystal Maiden Frostbite as well, and then it's a lockdown hero against Darkseer, which can have some value. I think in general it's just like it's also a nice coupling here with Juggernaut because even if you get a successful initiation, there's that counterplay. Which Juggernaut is just going to be able to receive the press the attack and then be able to pop his Q or even his Omni Slash immediately afterwards. It's also a tankier hero, and it's like we don't know what Execration's plan is going to be. Ooh.
Execration's turn to pick.
All right, well that's an answer to Meepo right there, right?
Yes,
I think
definitely is.
Wings are probably thinking about like if they do pick up Meepo, like
I think it's a Faith Magnus too. I think he usually plays it.
yeah, I've seen him play that more offlane than it's been
10
mid
seconds
for
remaining.
this team, so quite likely choice for them.
5 seconds remaining.
Do you think it's a Blink Jug or Shadow Jug?
I think they could still go either
Reserve
way. They're probably
time.
still waiting to see more cards from Execration at this point.
There's not that many melee mids left, however, though, if they want to synergize with the Magnus, which I wouldn't see why they...
I think it's only necessary for the Juggernaut to synergize.
I think it's always nice, right? I think you just feel a lot stronger.
Get another
But then again,
extra one in there.
Yeah.
do you really want to run another melee hero against Darkseer, Spirit Breaker, and CM? All three. Of
I
those
think you can
heroes.
run one that's like not true melee, like Ember Spirit, for example.
Oh yeah. That
Is kind of a good mid that synergizes well with Empower, but doesn't really suffer against the Ion Shell and the
Yeah.
Spirit Breaker.
It does give them some tempo as well. I mean, he likes to be extremely active, usually mid game, secure some kills and get some map presence.
I don't think I've seen Blink play Ember though.
It's not a hero that's frequently in his pool.
Mirana.
Certainly given Execration something to think about. They've gone with the
Wings
Marana.
Gaming's turn
That is
to
something
pick.
that is in his pool, so they might have just picked that to kind of take that away
Mm.
from Wings. There are other pseudo melees that might kind of fit these requirements as well. Maybe something like a PA. I'm not sure if that's in the cards here.
They can also do Invoker. I think Invoker is pretty good versus Spirit Breaker.
10
Like you're not worried about
seconds
getting charged.
remaining.
Also good for Starkseer, like we saw last game, and it can combo well with the Magnus if they want to go
5
for
seconds
like
remaining.
a magic damage combination as opposed to a cleave with the Magnus.
There's still a Timber Saw as
Reserve
well, which has
time.
been a pretty popular staple for this team.
You'd imagine they might leave that till 5.
Blink looks pretty happy.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
snickering. a little
I
bit.
think it's going his way so far, in his mind.
Yeah, but he hasn't had his
Ember
hero yet, so
Spirit.
I still have like.
And there's the Ember. Okay.
Yeah.
Execration's
Yeah, I think that was a
turn
really good
to
choice,
ban.
Oh, I like what they have right now. I think their team fight's a little bit better. I think their late game's also a little bit better. I think their laning phase, however, is much weaker because of the Darkseer Spirit Breaker and then
10
CM providing the
seconds
aura.
remaining.
So
Oh, for sure.
yeah, I think that's the only thing they need to get past in this
5
game.
seconds remaining.
So if Execration do have the laning phase, and they do have some snowballing heroes,
Reserve time.
how's the best way to wrap up their lineup?
Generally, the silencer would be the best one. You like charge on the Ember Spirit, you silence right about as you're about to go in, and you just kind of combo them down with a vacuum. But I don't think they have a blanket ultimate like that to win them the team fight. That's kind of what they need, right? Like I think something to break apart the
Wings
team fight for them.
Gaming's turn to
Naga?
ban.
Naga is tough because they have the 2 instant the Ember Remnant and the Juggernaut Spin. You can't follow up after the song, so you need something else.
And Ember Spirit and Juggernaut are both
10
pretty good at being able to deal with Naga Siren push.
Yeah.
So they have
Especially with
they have 3 cores that
5
can all deal
seconds
with the
remaining.
push in their own way. I think that's not much of a problem
Reserve
for them. I kind of feel like you need an aggressive hard game. We're talking about a safe lane hero.
Yeah,
right,
they need
for
a safe
Execration.
Yeah.
You were thinking of like a carry silencer.
Yeah. Perhaps.
Wings Gaming's
What other
turn to pick.
things would be nice for them?
What's a good?
They need something that takes objectives, I think.
Yeah, I mean it's either like you go hard late game, and that feels unlikely versus Jug, Ember, and Magnus. So
10 seconds
Terrorblade
remaining.
is a pushing hero that's left, because Luna and Draw Ranger both got
5
taken out by
seconds
Execration
remaining.
themselves.
I don't think you want to push into that though. I think like pushing into Ember. I think you need to take it like very
Reserve
late with like
time.
anti-mage style, or you need to crush them into team fights. Then you can take objectives.
I feel like most of the late game heroes though don't that you could pick up do not
10 seconds
have
remaining.
the necessary lockdown to be able to deal with Juggernaut or Ember
5
Spirit.
seconds
Yeah.
remaining.
It's true.
And the Underlord was still in there.
Execration's turn to pick.
It's a
And been
nasty
picked up.
team fight.
Yeah, that is very nasty, isn't it? Underlord, Ember Spirit,
Quite difficult.
Magnus, Jug, and Rubik.
Like Spirit Breaker cannot charge in. Like almost all the heroes can deal with
Yeah.
the Spirit Breaker charge. They have to crush the landing
10
phase, I think.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, Execration
Yeah.
5 seconds
backs against
remaining.
the wall here in draft. It's once again those situation where we're looking at that last
Reserve
carry and
time.
going, okay, if you pick the snowballing fighting hero, then you're just not going to have a lot of pushing power. If you pick up the more pushing style hero, then you're going into like one team fight could actually close out this game for you. Because like one successful defense by Wings, you just start like falling off so quickly.
So do you think they should lean more towards early game or late game for the last pick? Either of you?
Morphling late game.
Morphling I would actually like a lot. I
The
think.
problem with that Underlord is even the better early game laners are really going to struggle against them, I think. Especially if they send 2 people up there, if there's isn't like some kind of jungle Magnus.
10
It's
seconds
pretty hard to
remaining.
deal with the Underlord.
They also banned the good early pushers too themselves, the Luna and the Drought Ranger. There's
5
not that many
seconds
other good safe
remaining.
laners that can push early, especially with the Juggernaut taking themselves.
What?
So instead we'll have the Invoker. Well, it worked with no one, but you heard him. He's the only one, he says. We're about to find out whether he is or not. So thank you very much to all 3 of you. We will return back to our expert desk, of course, at the end of game 1. Time now to send you over to our commentators. It's Odie Pixel and Purge.
Thank you very much, Red Eye. Indeed, we're getting ready for this final series of the day. Execration up against the Wings Gaming. I'm Odie Pixel, I'm here with Purge. We've just seen the draft. Indeed, as mentioned by Red, the Invoker picked up against the Ember. We saw it in the last series. Are Execration going to be able to pull it off? But at the same time, I kind of want to ask you about the Underlord, because I know you feel that this hero very strong against the Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, as soon as I saw the Underlord pick, Spear Breaker, not so good. But at least they
10
do have
seconds
Iron Shell
remaining.
from the Darkseer, so in the laning stage at least, Spear Breaker should be quite strong. I think that's a decent benefit at least. Other than that, they can dispel things like Flame Guard, Empower from Magnus. There's definitely some annoying things that they can do, but it's not going to be
Prepare
as
for battle.
one-sided for utility dispel as it was when MP played against BP.
We'll see here as we get stuck into the line. And kind of in overall draft terms, is there someone that you do feel has the stronger game plan here?
Well, Execration obviously is their late game. It's not looking nearly as good, so they're going to have to tempo really well for the 10 to 20 minute mark. But it's going to be a bit tough. I mean, a lot of that comes down to roaming from CM in a lot of cases. So I think the CM roaming impact could be huge, especially towards the mid lane with the tornado as well. It should be a squishy Ember. He should take a lot of right clicks and very likely could go down.
So interesting though as well, obviously with this kind of Underlord being played by Ice, Faith Bian on the Magnus, what kind of lanes do you expect us to see from Wings?
I mean, it's really not weird at all to play 4-position Underlord, in my opinion. In some ways, it's better than the offlane because you can farm just as fast as you were if you were an offlane hero, but you're still a support, so you can roam around. It's not as effective as it was before when Pit of Malice had longer duration at level 1, but it's still effective as a 4-position. Maybe go places, push lanes, things like that. So I think it should be fine. They'll be able to afford a lot of wards, that's for sure, too.
Absolutely. Well, at the moment, in terms of contesting bounty runes, it looks like both sides to keep to their own. And the lanes as well from Execration by looks like Nando is going to be sticking up on his top lane, Mirana being backed up by Chemo's Crystal Maiden. And mid lane, Gabby on the Invoker. And Owa, I mean, this Spirit Breaker, as you mentioned, obviously he's got to be a little bit worried about where the Underlord is across the map. Where's he got to be looking at the start to try and get that key beginning that we've been talking about across the day on this position and make sure he has that early impact?
Yeah, just dual offlane is the safest thing. He's got Orb of Venom and a Fairy Fire, so he's quite good at level 1. Especially the first creep wave here with double Ion Shell is a great time to actually try to go for a kill. Rubik is actually very weak level 1 in comparison to a lot of heroes, so I think this is a good moment to maybe go try to pressure the Rubik.
Already Wings playing very aggressive with a straight up Blade Fury and Telekinesis. Starting to assert their dominance, and already Execration, they're trying to capitalize on the fact that spells have already been used, pushing Innocence right back.
That was actually a really rare mistake there by DJ. He should have Ion Shelled the Spirit Breaker. As soon as they lifted the Darkseer, they could have gone on Innocence and probably killed him, or at least gotten him very, very low.
Very close indeed. Top lane, indeed, as you mentioned, Ice is going to be sitting around close by to Faith Bian in this lane matchup. And I mean, obviously the off-lane Magnus, something that we believe are yet to see this lane. Very strong in lane against the Mirana. Do you feel this is a lane where both get farmed? Anyone going to get pressured?
It should be fine here. Mirana's right click is very weak at level 1, and Ice here with his passive Atrophy Aura should be able to reduce some of that damage. And normally Magnus can't actually offlane very well, but we've seen so few tri lanes in this this tournament so far, just because teams are trying to abuse dual lanes. So, ooh, very close damage there on Gabby.
Blink certainly getting aggressive in mid lane in terms of CS at the moment, so with a slight edge, but very, very close. 8 for 2, 7 for 0 between the two mid laners.
So what's actually really cool about what their mid laner is doing on Wings' side is he grabs Sleight of Fist instead of Flame Guard. So
bottom lane, we are seeing that combo getting to work as you talked about, moving in with the double Ion Shell and the charge dub. Take the first kill, lay through from Shadow, bring the DJ relatively low, good bash, and they could turn potentially. 159 Owa goes straight back in, and they pick up a second here on the bottom lane. And I mean, this combo Purge, it's pretty deadly if it gets it footing early long.
Yeah, this is one of the best dual offlanes in the game. It's just so consistently strong. Just disables two very tanky heroes, and Ion Shell is one of the best damage skills just for one skill point. So yeah, the Sleight of Fist on the mid lane, he's actually gotten 2 points too. He's just not even getting Flame Guard because he's seen, why would I get Flame Guard? You're just going to remove it and then I have 4 skill points that are wasted.
I mean, I guess
instead, he's just gap closing and getting easy entangles.
He could be in trouble though, Lumic, with the wraparound and charge in from Owar as well. Immediately moving across the mid lane, looking to punish Blink, and they'll get the kill. Execration making the movements here. Spirit Breaker certainly working out and helping to shut down the Ember. And kind of going on about, obviously, you saying, changing the skill build because of the situation of the game. Are we going to see a different item build from the Ember, or will he still go for the magic?
That's an interesting question. I really don't know. I would say that the right click damage build isn't very good against their heroes, but I think he still goes back for Flame Guard later. He's just going to have to be a little selective early.
Nonetheless, even though he gets taken down in the mid lane, he's still keeping himself top of the board in the last hit department there, Blink. And the safe laners as well, looking at Jug, 16 for 2, up on top 11 for 5. So Magnus able to put the pressure on, and also fighting a lot for this lane, Fabian. Kind of, as you suggested, with Ice dipping and diving in and out of the lane, it is making it hard for Fernando to come out on top of the Magnus.
Yeah, he's doing his best, but should make the fast magic one. Another charge coming on the bot lane.
So if they can turn this one around potentially with a Blade Fury and a Telekinesis, but DJ and Owar sticking around trying to man fight. DJ at the last moment surges out with the sound, but good bash from Owar. Shadow potentially in trouble, dropping down the healing ward. It's not going to be enough, and now again with the charge, the aggression here from these two is putting on so much pressure on this bottom lane, and it really seems that at the moment Innocence and Shadow, they can't deal on their own with these two heroes.
That's very difficult. DJ played that perfectly, escaping at the right moment. And at the least, even if they're not getting kills out of this, it's still costing mana for the Juggernaut to go for these spin kills. So every little advantage like that will matter, and despite them doing a duel lane that are getting equal levels as their opponents.
On top lane, Kima coming in and helping out Nando to look for an attempt on a kill onto Ice Ice. Because of the aura and such, he's incredibly tanky. It looks like they can't quite finish him off. Faith Bian's come across. Nando still continue to try and search for him. He's not going to be able to find him by the looks of it, as Ice Ice gets himself back into the tower range. There'll be a charge onto Faith Bian, but indeed the Spirit Breaker's far too far away to continue on for that. I mean, we're seeing that just the power of the Underlord. This man's a bit of a beast.
Yep, it's Astrior and it's the 4-man shield. It's reducing their damage and then it's further damage blocking it. So it makes it very hard for them to do damage. We'll see if he gets more skill points in this. I don't think he should probably, but the 2 points in lane is fantastic. 1/5 of all damage done is just negated.
On mid lane, looks like we have got a charge coming in, looking in for the kill. Ember goes aggressively with the Remnant, but taken down. Execration picking up a 5th kill. And I mean, so far, OR's movements on the Spirit Breaker, they've been absolutely perfect. 5 minutes in, 5 kills on the board.
It's just the value that you get out of Spirit Breaker Darkseer. It's just so good. Because it doesn't even require Darkseer to leave his lane. And you can just Iron Shell the Spirit Breaker, send him on his way to go do a really strong gank. It's been getting a lot of pressure done. And while the Ember build is a little bit innovative, it's just not going to work here. And because at some point, it's still squishy Ember Spirit, and there's still a lot of nukes and damage coming towards him. It's like the best he can do is cast spells on his opponents, lowers his HP just a little, at least then, so there's a slightly lower chance of him dying. But they could get a kill here. He's going to have to use 3 remnants though, I think.
I'll see if he does go in for that attempt. Tibbling. He has got the backup, the wraparound coming in from Rubik. But Gabby, he's got the Obs Ward there on the sideline, so he knows exactly what's going on, so he should be able to play this around. Not if he gets caught out by the chain into cage. Tornado and EMP nicely holding back the Innocence, making sure he can't follow through for the kill. And Gabby, he might even find Blink. He used all the remnants aggressively to try and get the kill onto Gabby, and with Kima rushing around as well, they're going to lose the life of the Ember. Execration outplaying the aggressive attempt there from Blink. And bottom lane as well, it looks like there could be a bit more trouble for the side as a charge comes through from Owa. DJ as well with the Iron Shells, bringing Shadow down low, and they'll take him out. Innocence TP's across, but Owa, he's ready to potentially man up. Okay, the issue's now turned up. Ice Ice into the lane, making sure that they don't get anything more. But once again, Execration, 6.5 minutes in, 7-0. They are shaking Wings the hell up.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. That ward changed everything there just because it allowed Gabby to land the perfect tornado. It was a great setup by Wings, but because the tornado lifted the Rubik, the Invoker gets away, and he's able to just kill the Ember Spirit. Ember needs Flame Guard to do a lot of damage, otherwise he's just sitting on pretty much a regular nuke, so very reliant on other heroes to actually get kills.
Yeah, it really is going to be interesting to see how Blink can kind of move forward from this early game start, which is already proving to be quite a bit of an issue here in the mid lane. Gabby certainly getting the gold, getting the XP that he needs, with a good level advantage and such. And I mean, what is the kind of solution to this? We saw Wings obviously try and bring Innocence in to try for a kill. Do they still have to continue trying to make attempts at ganking this Invoker, or do they just have to look elsewhere?
A kill occasionally is certainly a great option, just because it can really negate a lot of the advantage that Invoker has. But it's difficult to do so, especially with the slightly greedy 4 they had. With Underlord, great at farming and all, but he's not so good at ganking. And he doesn't really impact that much heavily damage-wise anymore because of the Pit of Malice nerfs. So it's going to be a bit tough. It's going to take a lot of Fire Remnants pretty much every time he wants to get a kill.
Bottom lane, may have to be a little bit careful again. Wings, DJ, and Chemo at the moment. Setting up base down there. Mid lane, OR kind of hanging around, maybe seeing if Blink is tempted to go in aggressively on Gabby and to be there ready with the counterplay. And also, I believe, probably very close to picking up that 6 indeed, already 2/3 of the way through level 5, so the Nether Strike soon to be online for this roaming Spirit Breaker. And at that point, just the ganks and the kill potential can look even higher. Gabby making a bit of a go here, onto Blink. He throws out a Remnant, but he's already lost all of his mana here. And Gabby, he's going forward with the cold snap. Couple more touches, might be able to, can't quite do it. Verifies, not going to keep him alive, but with the Ghost Walk, he'll juke out the hit. So Gabby plays aggressive, doesn't get the kill, but he doesn't get himself killed either.
That was a little close. Cost him about 200 mana to use the Ghost Walk, but it's fine. He's got a CM, and CM's very leveled as well, rotating down to the bot lane.
Onto this bottom. The Moonlight Shadow to set up them up. Try and make sure there's no chance for the Blade Fury, but quick reactions there from Shadow. Will mean that he gets himself away, life intact from this 3-man gank.
That was a hard one. That would have been difficult. They had to get the charge off and then do a ton of magic damage to get him very low. Jug very survivable against Iron Shell stuff, so I think he's in a good spot. But Wings continues to be greedy, basically. It's just AFK jungling Ice on the Underlord, the Magnus as well, just spending a lot of time farming. But Once he gets a couple more levels here, and he's going to start putting Empower on the Jug, he's going to be able to catch up. So as long as Wings doesn't keep getting completely ganked, like out of control, then they should be fine here.
Yeah, this could be nice as well. A bit of a smoke action from Wings as Blink and Innocence coming around towards the top lane. Nando would be a nice kill. Now we have to set up the pit into the cage. Remedy forward with more than enough burst to take down Nando.
That was so cool. They threw the Pit of Malice, disabled for 0.9 seconds, and then he got Syrian changed. And by the time the change was over, the Pit of Malice re-triggered again. That was really interesting. That's a really solid gank against Mirana. She's not able to leap anymore due to the roots, so a huge experience gain going towards Wings. And now they can pressure the tower too.
Yeah, really nice play as well, because considering the way that the mid lane was going for Blink, they needed to make some positive action happen with the Ember's involvement, and that's exactly what they were able to do there.
Yeah, it's a lot safer than just laning against an Invoker, and in the meantime, they just put Faithion on the mid lane. He spams out a couple shockwaves, and any kind of counter push that Execration wants to do, they just can't do.
Dire's top tower is
Already,
under attack.
TP's up towards the top lane. Execration maybe looking to try and catch them off guard, but nice scan indeed, yeah. They know what's up on Wings. How are they going to react? They start to back off. Not going to get the lock-in onto Gabby holding it back. Ice tried for the TP out, but the charge connects just in time. Looks like Ice maybe the one left for dead here. We're out of Firestorm, but they will take the kill, Execration. So even though it was scanned out, just not quick enough there with the reaction to get everyone out back to safety.
He did a lot of raindrop damage there. Did you see that? That was like 3. That's worth at least 50 gold.
It is.
Better than nothing. They're going to heal up here. Faithion is got 2 points in power here. It's actually very good on Ember Spirit, really. I mean, he could go the damage build. He's picking up an Aqua here. We haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen somebody do tough with Tornado.
Top lane as well. Innocence trying to set up onto Gabby. Faithion moving into position for a potential RP. Trying to go with the cold snap just in time. Cancelling any chance of this one. Looks like they'll be forced back. Shadows come forward with a Blade Fury, really wanting to try and do something. There was one sentry popped down earlier, but no vision kind of this further out on the map. They'll pop down another, but already Execration kind of out of the range. Gabby's still too close though. He'll get caught out. DJ came back in, takes an Omni Snap, but DJ will not fall down. He survives. Front fight into the ultimate from Chemo, bringing Shadow down. They'll take down the Juggernaut. They have lost the invoker, but it looks like Execration may find more potentially. Blink comes forward. Chemo immediately with a frostbite. Nando held back by the telekinesis from Innocence, but they're not done yet. Execration charging forward. Good chains. Holds back the breaker just before he gets the bash. He goes back in Blink, but the vacuum, the damage is too much. Execration chains down Blink. Faithion trying to come back in with a stew of the shot. They're so damn low. He'll find no one on the Spirit Breaker. Can he actually get anything more out of this one? Nando throws the arrow across. He's going to get the vision. He knows that they're looking for him. They're already TP out one. Chemo playing around with Ice. He could be in trouble. Nando in the trees. Ice will chop down onto Chemo. And Nando looks like he'll be safe as it. For the time being, they won't dive any deeper.
Wings get some kills eventually there. Everybody was getting repeatedly low, but really sick plays there by Execration. Especially the Juggernaut forcing Omni Slash on the Darkseer. Darkseer stays alive. They kill him as he retreats with the CM ulti. Just consistently Wings thinking a step ahead. But only get some kills. The tower dying is pretty big though at this point. Keep in mind that Execration doesn't really have the best late game farmers. And while they are farming well on some of their cores, they're not stupidly ahead.
Mid lane, Shadow has to be very careful here. Homo gets the vision for the charge, and they're giving it to him, but he's being careful. There'll be a scan just to potentially if there's anything more behind Shadow, but it does only catch Shadow, so it doesn't give them too much information. They'll lay down a ward. And it looks like they'll decide to play it safe, back up and move towards the bottom lane, try and claim another tier 1 from the half of Wings' map.
Top tower is under attack.
They're getting pretty close to Mech as well and Underlord. And again, this is a support, and we're 13 minutes in, he's almost got it picked up. It's a huge advantage, and there's a Blink Dagger on Faithion and about 50 gold. All of this greediness is finally paid off. Like they lost their mid tier 1, and there's some really good deep wards from Execration, but that's about it. Other than that, I think they're sitting okay.
I think we've already kind of mentioned the power of the Pit Malice when comboed with certain skills. Obviously, kind of an RP into the pit. That is a lot of disable. And more than enough time for an empowered Jug to just chop through an entire team. Basically,
anybody on Wings' side would love to right-click. Works with everyone.
Yeah, that's true actually, yeah. An empowered Underlord with the aura kind of after a fight.
You kill the 5 enemy heroes, you get plus 200 damage, and then you farm creeps really fast with Empowered.
It's gonna be messy. Wings here. Smoking up, moving up aggressively. Gabby's position will take down the smoke here, then put down an ops board, and they get the chain snatch. Immediately jump forward from Fabian, looking for Gabby here. Can he get himself out of the corner? No, he can't. There'll be an RP to secure the kill. They'll make sure they take the vacuum. Oh, they're stuck on the cliff! And Chemo there with the ultimate, raining down the icy balls of hell!
DJ, man.
Oh!
What a play.
What a dark seer.
And there was just the CM casting freezy build on the team. And they spent so many spells to guarantee the Invoker kill. They got him, but that vacuum just turned things around. What a sick play.
Absolutely beautiful. I mean, as you mentioned, DJ, pretty much the entire game so far, he's been playing it perfectly. The aggression down on the bottom and these kind of counter plays, the Wings attempts to jump in and try and get stuck in fights. It's been absolutely fantastic. 13 for 5 at the moment. Execration certainly with the lead coming out of this early stages. But Wings had the potential to turn. We saw there obviously kind of the reveal of the blink. It wasn't what Wings wanted, but throughout the entirety of the game, Execration have always got to be scared of that blink RP.
Yeah, that's pretty worrying. Looking, and they're going to fight.
And they're ready to dive in, and they're just go straight past the tower. Faithbound will be there with the skew and the shockwave. The Faithbolt from Innocence takes him down, and they're not done yet. Wings jumping forward for more blink. Remnants in, chains on Chemo as well. There'll be a wall and a vacuum. DJ trying to hold back the side of Wings, but Shadow moves forward with the Blade Spirit. They have a kinesis, they drag DJ back in. They'll find the Rubik. They'll turn towards a third kill here as Wings finally finding the team fight that they needed. Execration maybe just getting a bit ahead of themselves there with that dive beyond the tower. Gabby still in potential trouble. DP on cooldown for 12 seconds. Wings, are they going to continue looking at it? It doesn't look like they are, so Gabby may be lucky enough to hang around and wait for the cooldown to come off, but very aggressive attempt there from Execration, but diving the tier 1.
Yeah, they arrowed through, they saw that Underlord was by himself. They thought maybe we can jump on and blow him up fast. The TPs were instant from Wings. And the other part is that Underlord already has his mech, so not only does he have 1300 HP, it's more like 1600.
I mean, just look at this. Just the chains into the pit, you are not going anywhere.
It's just such good disable, and it's a really good 5-man here as well. And now all of a sudden, Wings is feeling really far ahead. Even though the net worths are still looking very good for Execration, they've got to be really worried right now, because even a fantastic vacuum ball didn't do that much. And that's even, Ember Spirit doesn't even have items yet. He's got like a wand and knockbow, that's it. They're making it work.
They certainly are already. Moving across the mid lane, they're taking down bottom. With a quick target rift, they'll make sure to transcend it into a quick tower push as well. Wings making the action happen on the map. Execration have to be careful about fighting into this because RP is available. And Omnislash as well.
And think about where we were like 3 minutes ago. Game's completely changed. It's like 4 dead towers. You get the MP at least. But it's only going to really nail the Underlord, so...
Yeah, understandable why Execration a little bit more timid about the way that they jump into these fights after the last few have gone, because, as you said, really just allowing the game to be shook right up and Wings to get themselves back in a very, very good-looking position.
And Nando was doing his best to push up the top lane. He's got Ags at a pretty good timing, 17 minutes. Certainly will be useful. I am unsure it's going to be enough, though. I mean, Ice is doing a great job just counter-pushing. It's one of the biggest benefits of Underlord. It's just so safe to cast Firestorm. Whole creep wave is dead. Damages heroes a lot as well. But he's just going to keep farming, and at some point, he's going to have a pipe as well. Pipe's going to offset a lot of the magic damage that Execration's doing.
DJ and Gabby, as you're ready to just continue on putting a bit of pressure on this tier 1 and finish it off. It's very low mid lane. OR with his eyes onto Shadow and kind of playing around with teasing with the ultimate there. And I won't commit. Shadow has got backup as well, so it could be a questionable decision if Execration do go in on the jug. Bottom lane, those spaces created. They'll finish off the tier 1. And OR already now with the charge onto Faith Bian. Execration are trying to move over to help him. But it looks like, yeah, Faith Bian able to back up far enough that the OR is held back from continuing on the charge.
Yeah, he's fine. He's got a skewer if things get really bad. He's been collecting a lot of farm.
And do you like this decision as well, just going straight for the BKB to blink?
It's so safe, and it's kind of something that they need. I mean, if he jumps in and there's an EMP, or he gets caught by a tornado as he blinks in, it's very common that happens during team fights. So if he just grabs the BKB, instantly gets the RP that he wants, and that kind of just changes everything. Because as soon as you RP and collect everybody, and you have an Ember Spirit that's empowered, or even like a Jug with Omnislash who's empowered, those whoever's got the RP, they're just gonna get shredded right away, and that's what they're aiming for here. Invoker would be a great grab.
Yeah, straight in with the RP, no messing. They screw him back into the pit. Omnislash thrown down as well. Make sure there's no chance for Gabby's escape, and they're not done yet. They jump forward. Remnant and James from Blink to lock down OR. A shockwave to the face from Faith Beyond as they pick up a second after that smoke movement. And now they'll move in for the tier 2. Wings now 11 for 13. They really have climbed back from a lot to be a bit of a sketchy early game. And now, if you're Execration, I mean, kind of as we've already been thinking, what do you do as this side? How do you counter the way the Wings are playing and performing?
I mean, their laning stage was so good, but now it comes down to their team fights not being nearly as strong. I'm not really sure what the best solution is. Maybe Darkseer needed to go for a mech instead of a Helm of the Dominator. That way those early engagements were a little bit more favored towards Execration, but it's just so difficult to win advantage against heroes like Magnus and Underlord and Ember Spirit. They can constantly pressure and engage and punish Execration a lot better than Execration can punish them in return.
Ice as well with his build. Looks like he's going for the 4-star next. Do you like this decision?
It's pretty good. You can force back somebody that gets arrowed, for example. You can get outside of Angels yourself or an ally if really needed. There's some decent solutions with it. Something like a Vlad's or a Pipe would be also good, but I think just a simple 4-staff this early can make a huge difference. Because that could be like 1 or 2 less deaths for Juggernaut or Ember Spirit in the early game. That'll really add up by the end.
Looking at some of the items queued up as well over on the side of Execration, it's going to be the Midas, picked up by O1. Also, Chemo on the CM going for the Midas as well. So is this just a way that you could kind of look to drag the game out, kind of accepting that you've lost this time of the game?
No. I mean, well, yeah, maybe they're not looking amazing right now, but the levels can compensate for some other things. Is 2,000 gold really going to change a fight right now? And the answer is probably not. For CM, it could. I think things like Blink Dagger can be really amazing and change a lot, but I think it basically just comes down to like vacuum combos. That's kind of the best thing that Execration has going for them, but the issue is they don't really have stuns on top of that, unless you do like vacuum with the Centaur maybe. I don't know, it's a tough game for Execration. Their team fight, their laning advantage was amazing, but ever since then, they're not getting as many towers as Wings is. So.
Gonna have a look at trying to make something happen onto the bottom lane. But you can have the initial charge there with a slight fist. I guess the Nether Strike will drop down as well, but they have got the damage to finish him off by the looks of it. Blink and Eyesight just sticking around, turning straight back onto the Spirit Breaker, forcing Owa to back off. And Arrow will fly through. A good connection as well from Nando. They take down one. Eyesight did try for a Dark Rift, but no way the time was going to be there to save his teammate. And it's Blink to fall. And Execration finding a pick-off that they certainly needed.
Yeah, it worked out very nicely because it was just a whoop. He's dying really fast.
Just that. There's no holding back from Wings. They go straight in with an RP opportunity, even on one hero at this stage. Raytheon starting to empower up the side. DJ has moved into the front lines of this. Chemo will hold one back with the Frostbite. DJ himself falling incredibly low. The damage, of course, coming out from these empowered heroes, absolutely massive. DJ tries to get away, only just escaped. They're going to go back in. Chemo with the freezing field. They'll punish the player Faithian, and now they're looking for more. Shadow sticking around with the Blade Fury. Can OR fight a match for it? He can't. Shadow's able to TP out. Innocence with the quick Fade Bolt back in there to take down the life of OR. And now with the telekinesis still playing around with Nando. He has got to be careful, Innocence. 3 heroes still around. He'll head into the trees. His TP still on cooldown for 10 seconds. And he's got the stolen lead.
He may have left in division there. Well, it doesn't look like
it did look close, didn't it? Yeah, with the arrow flying past.
And interesting item build so far by Blink. He goes for BOTs there. They actually do break it, prevent him from TPing in. But that as well as the Yasha. I think the Yasha is going to be for a Manta style to counteract what Invoker's going to do with his Orchid, but it'll be okay. It's kind of synergistic with Empower, just because you're going to get a little bit more value from the plus damage, but definitely not the most ideal Ember Spirit build that we've seen. It's very forced into it though, based on the heroes.
I mean, at this stage as well, we've obviously just seen Wings diving the tier 3 with the RP set on Invoker, just playing very aggressively. But as you kind of mentioned off the back of the draft, they do potentially on paper have the better late game. So do you think Wings can kind of settle down, get a bit more farm on the Ember Spirit, or do they need to keep this tempo up?
I mean, it's I don't even look at it as tempo. I look at it as it's a Midas. RP and Omni Slash, they're Midas. You RP the Invoker and keep killing him. Gold team for you, gold loss for him. That's what they're looking at it as. If they just turn 2 small ultimates, maybe small is the wrong word, but they're winning the game, turn them into an occasional kill on the most farmed hero on the enemy team, that's going to eventually put you into an uncontrollable area where you just don't lose.
It certainly seems as well with those cooldowns. It's not really like Execration at the moment, like there's no RP, let's go for a play, because they themselves, they realise they need a little bit more before they're able to stand toe-to-toe with Wings. Nice trying to catch Nando there with a pit, but Nando quick on the fingers and out of danger. And we'll start to head towards the top lane. Both Chemo and DJ in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, Execration's circumstances are very situational. It requires Wings ideally to be a bit spread out, or for them to get a great disable chain and nuke chain on a hero that's not expecting it. Because they have pretty good burst damage right now, but that's about the extent of what they have. Great lockdown, pretty good team fight, good damage if they're out of position, that's about it. So CM gonna go for a Glimmer Cape next. Her ultimates have been very useful so far. Nando's got great damage as well, but past that, I guess they have Orchid on Invoker at least. He's looking for a solo kill right now. Might actually run into the whole enemy team. But
this could be big. We'll see how.
There's there was
Just
a
for that, yeah, Breaker there on the front line. One with the RP realizes he doesn't need it for this kill. Holds back on that one. So they'll take the Spirit Breaker and Faith Beyond still.
We'll see a curse snap loose, but oh.
Gabby gets that. The Wings in return, not only just a kill, but also at this stage of the game, taking down the second shrine from the side of the Execration.
And the gold advantage continues. So it looks like Guardian Grief's next for Underlord. I'd love to see Vlad's pipe next. Pretty useful. Maybe not Vlad's, maybe that's not too needed, but definitely a pipe.
Blink as well. Got eyes on him, but immediately Remnants away. And just in time as well as Gabby and Nando were on the hunt for him up on the top lane.
That definitely could have been a kill. I don't know if the arrow spooked him or not, or if it was just the creeps dying when they die, but certainly could have been a dead Ember.
And all things said and done, of course, whilst this has been going on, Nando certainly keeping up with the pace of the farm. We're seeing with nearly 3.8k gold in the bank on top of the ads. And I guess once he gets that E-Blade, there's... who is he looking to burst down? I mean, there's fairly tanky heroes, I guess, on the side. And with the Flame Guard as well, it's maybe not that easy to get these kills.
Yeah, it's absolutely not. I mean, Ember Spirit's total HP is not that high, but even like Rubik is a little hard to kill. He's got a Glimmer Cape here. Underworld has a stupid amount of survivability. Sometimes Jug is a great option, though. He's quite tanky right now, but you can either force him to spin or try to nuke him after he's spun. But I don't think it's going to be quite as easy for pickoffs. For fights, it'll be very useful, certainly. Or maybe if he combos with the Invoker on an Orchided hero, that could definitely provide kills.
I guess as well, because the Jug's going from Manta into Skadi, no Diffusal, there's always the potential to save heroes from the Omni Slash, from Shadow as well.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Could work. There's still a lot of magic damage going, so yeah. It's not too one-dimensional. So they do have their Roshin, they could, yeah, they're actually in both here.
Oh, they're going to go for the Jug. They want to try and contest this one immediately. Looking to go in onto Eyesight. And then the Strike as well could try and take down. Nice tornado. EMP as well. But it's facing out possibly KD. Trying to get into a position here. He's going to be bandaged. A good steal onto 2. There's the RP. Holding back both the Darcy and the CM out of this fight. Can the rest of the team go to work though? Nando's on the chase of Eyesight. Only the CM to die as of yet. They're still trying to finish off that Underlord towards the top. Back towards the pit. Wings will find a second to be a buyback from Kimo on the CM. Trying to get himself back and involved in the fight here. DJ and Nando on the retreat. So as it stands, a 2 for 2. Execration with the buyback coming out from themselves as well. So I imagine certainly puts them at the gold deficit. Roshan's still alive. Very low. Wings, of course, have the luxury of having their shrine, whereas obviously Execration, they've lost theirs. So Wings now back up to full health, full mana. They should look to continue to control this, but they do not have the numbers advantage. So DJ with the back tune. The EMP laid down as well to force Wings to split. And the EMP will catch on to Blink, so now Blink entirely out of mana. This Jug's trying to go in, has the Manta to remove the silence from the Orchid. But now Shadow has to be careful, falling down low. Healing Ward is out. Nando jumps forward, looks to finish off Faith Bian. There's the Blink, there's the Starstorm. They'll find that. Blink turns around with a Deafening Blast. They have lost another Sunstrike coming straight down in return. Gabby can get out of this one. No, he can't. A Christmas Shadow takes him out. DJ to fall as well. He goes for another strike, but the Glimmer came from Innocence, keeping Shadow alive. And they'll just chase down the Spirit Breaker as well. James, the empowered crits from Shadow, cutting through Execration. And a celebratory leap from Innocence. as they well and truly smash Execration around the pit. Wings head back in, will finish off Roche, get themselves the...
The taunting Dark Rift. It was such a close fight there. Execration almost won in so many ways, and I'm just sitting here looking at Midas's. I'm thinking, if CM had a Glimmer Cape, if Spiritbreaker had a Glimmer Cape or a Force Staff or something, we would have seen way more impact out of all of their heroes. And instead, not only does Wings get Roche here, but there's been like 3 buybacks now in Execration, 2 buybacks.
Is under attack.
I think
that makes a huge impact.
It's a little worrying as well, because I keep seeing over on the deaths, a lot of these Midas is on cooldown each time that they go down Execration, so value certainly being lost from the side.
And it's not even about that value right now, because that's going to take like, it takes like 10 minutes for your Midas to pay off, gold-wise. So yeah, you get some levels out of it, but honestly, a survivability item here or there turns that close fight into a 1 game for Execration. Because once the big teamfight ultimates were down, all they had to do is keep playing around double star storms. You do that enough times, and Wings is easily burstable.
Wings looking even more deadly now. There's a Manta complete on Blink. It's going to be even harder to be locked down by the side of Execration. A lot of it, kind of, you mentioned it, lack of stuns, but they've got a root, they've got a silence. That's not going to mean much when there's a Manta in the hands of both of the cores of Wings. And also Shadowblade picked up from Faithian as well. So Execration have to be even extra careful in the way so that they approach these fights. So that Shadowblade into RP could certainly catch them off guard.
Yeah, it was honestly a great fight. The disabled mags at the start did tons of AoE damage. But I aim for some mana drain here.
Shadow straight in.
That was actually a big snake, getting the elbow.
It takes away a
60
good chunk,
or
isn't
something.
it?
Yeah, it's a lot. I can't tell you exactly how much. I'll have to mouse it over 1 second.
Do the math, Pat.
That was a flame, if you didn't catch it.
A flame?
Valve flame, dude.
Oh, a Valve flame. Don't play Valve, Pat.
It was a flame.
There we go, Wings. Still remaining solid on the Execration side of the map. They're getting some good wards down as well. Already 3 observer wards over on Execration side. And as we can see, really, Execration very scared about leaving the base at this stage. Back up on the high ground, they're very aware that the Wings just have this huge potential to jump in and look for fights.
And they push really fast with Empower. Doug is one of the best melee sieging heroes just because he can BKB himself, he can drop healing ward, he's got Manta style, and he's got bonus damage from the mag, so he just kills towers really fast. And he's backed up by Guardian Greaves and other things too.
Now they'll put a sentry down just in case there was a high ground observer ward from Wings. I know they haven't put one down yet inside the base. As for the time being, Faithian is going to have to wait for the wave to push in, or go for some sort of blind initiation. He wants to attempt for something big. Shadow back in again. Wings making sure that they don't go too cocky here with this push.
They could poke him a bit. They still have E-Blade, so every time he uses spin, he's gonna have to wait until it's almost up again, like this. Oh, yeah.
Taking his crown, he doesn't have the agent. Faithian immediately comes in with the skewer to take Nando out. A tornado thrown in immediately to try and break up the fight and help Nando get out of there. Nando looks like it will be able to retreat in safety. Oh no, Bleed's actually jumped in aggressively, trying to finish this off, but the speed there from the surge and the Moonlight Shadow allowing Nando to get out to safety. So no one to fall. Shadow remains on the mid, continues to apply pressure. They'll shrine up Execration. RP is still there for Faithian though, so Execration has to be careful about how close they come to defending this push.
They're just keeping them as far away as they can, and it's working. Melee Barracks is almost down.
Just with this pit, with the slight distance change, also long range disable. A quick change to hold back the charge from O1. Lift it up. There's the vacuum. There's no room for open now. They'll now get out with Deathly Blood. BKB's already come out from Faithian. Goes in with the skewer. Has the RP onto 2. Invoker's out, and so's the Darkseer. DJ to fall. And Wings, they'll finish off the rest of the rags. Nando's jumped in, gets rooted immediately by the pit. Will still be able to escape, and Ice, yeah, he's going to hold it on. They want to go for more here. They realize that with 2 down, they've got the chance to do serious damage to the base of Execration, and both of these heroes, without buyback available, this is looking pretty painful for them first.
Yeah, it's very difficult for them to get them low. With Guardian Greaves as well as the healing ward, they're just always full on HP. There's not enough shrines in the base to actually solve this issue.
They're not done yet. They're taken 2. They're going to look for a 3rd. Wings, no stopping this aggression, and no reason to with just 3 heroes alive on the side of Execration, they will almost certainly have to deal with the mega creeps. As Wings clean up the base in Execration, they know that they can't hold against that. It's GG, well played, and Wings, really solid execution, coming out of a bit of a rough laning stage.
Yeah, a bit of a rough lane. It was 0 to 7 at the start of the game. I don't know if you noticed that, but they had 2 AFK junglers, basically Underlord, fantastic at rotating between jungle and off lane. They had Magnus getting tons of farm, was top net worth at various points of the